Hey, Wayne, welcome to the show. Before we started recording, you mentioned that there was something that you were doing in the past that was sucking you into the day to day and killing growth. What was that?
Tim, easily the chasm of effort that goes into exhibit follow up, show follow up, and turning those into sales and business growth.
Follow up is can be one of those things that can bog us down. I hear that challenge a lot. So let's dig into that a little bit, Wayne. What specifically was happening that was causing the slowdown, causing that was affecting the company's growth?
So one of the things I think, being a small business, with which we are a small business, is that you wear numerous hats. It's just life. And as much as we try to divvy up work and you do this and I'll do that, when it comes to generating sales and business, each of us and each of our own markets have probably strategies of doing that. And one of the things that we do strategically is attend a number of conventions across the country for various markets. And a lot of people say working a show or an expo is difficult. I tell you what, that is so simple when you think about the work and effort that goes into the follow up
Mm.
and taking advantage or gathering the leads, gathering the data, entering it, and just doing the follow up, making phone calls, remembering to do emails. I think a lot of failures in business are they just think, I have a lead, let's send an email and business will happen. It doesn't happen like that. It takes numerous times with contact, varying contact, and then fitting that in with day-to-day operations. The other numerous group of individuals that you gathered from the show, we can walk away with a couple of hundred leads, and that is daunting. It's overwhelming, and you sink into that world, and it's pretty scary, and it's troubling for many small businesses, and it is for us.
So when you're juggling the lead follow up along with the other hats that you're wearing, how does that affect the company's growth overall when you're attempting to juggle everything?
Yeah, that's a great question. Everything stops to
Mm,
focus and give the attention to detail of doing a little bit of research on the company that you're pursuing, understanding and recalling the notes that you wrote down from the show,
right. Yeah.
creating the email that you hope that they open. Then doing that over and over and over again, that is a massive emotional effort to do that. And literally everything stops. When I get stuck into that routine, nothing else happens with what I should be focused on.
Yeah. I think the stat is something like there was a Google research that was done that it can take 7 to 13 follow-ups to actually get a sale. And it also said something around the lines is most people give up after four.
Yeah. And I would say that if we can make four, then I would be ecstatic. Not even we're not even throwing in making phone calls and getting on the conversation and then
Yeah.
legitimately following up from the phone call.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, there was something else I heard years ago was it is 8 to 10 times more costly to find a new customer than to take
Yes.
care of the one you've got. So
Yes.
the other thing that we do when I sink into that area is lose track of, are we taking care of our existing customers?
Yeah.
So
Right.
focused on the new ones,
Yeah.
not taking care of our existing, and
Yeah.
sales lost in that area also.
Yeah. So wearing all those hats and getting pulled into the follow-up and such, how does that affect you personally?
Wow. Well, thankfully, I have a wife that is incredibly understanding,
Mm,
very patient with me. I'm also in the position, obviously, I'm no young spring chicken anymore. So kids are grown. My time and effort spent working in the company is different than if I was younger, had little ones, and had far greater responsibilities in the house. Besides the time and the quality time, emotionally it can become, you start to question yourself, you start to doubt, am I capable of running my company,
right.
am I doing the right things, do I have a product that even works? And
Yeah.
so when you don't see the results of the effort that you put in, even though sometimes you're sinking into that quicksand of doing that one particular task, it is very critical and very important. You start to have all those things run through your minds emotionally, physically. Hey, I'm going to work out today. The first thing you do is get up and jump on a laptop. It robs you of some of the things that you should put ahead of work.
Right. Yeah, fair. Fair. Thank you for for your transparency there. So, what did you realize that had to change in that messy middle moment, and what did you start doing differently?
Well, I think for a while we've known that we need to make some changes, or at least I had. I realized, if we're ever going to get above where we are, we've hit that level of, things are doing well, but they're not doing fantastic, and they should be doing just absolutely exponentially better. So for a while now, I've realized if we don't make some changes, and sometimes you don't know what the changes are, you're so immersed in the day-to-day operations that you can't see the forest for the trees, and it just sucks you in again. So I I think that in the last 12 months, one of my concerted efforts was strategically aligning ourselves with individuals who can take us to the next level. And that's possibly not that there's something brilliant that they're doing, but they can relieve us of some of this workload.
Yes.
So we've been fortunate enough. I think we're growing, sort of the snowballs rolling down the hill a little bit naturally, which is awesome. And maybe that's taken the multiple years of doing some of these events and marketing within them, but bringing on, uh, sales rep groups and distributors that are seeing us and noticing who we are and recognizing our stuff really works.
Yeah.
So some of it's naturally happening, but it's really we've seen it for a while, and it's now, let's make some changes. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Love it. So, Wayne, tell us, what's the name of your company and what do you guys do? How do you help people?
So the name of my company is AIRFeet. Often we accentuate that by AIRFeet. They're actually an active arch insole. So we have a product. Actually, a nice thing is I've got one right here so everyone can see it. People go, oh, it's an insole. Well, the difference is if I turn this sideways, you would think there's nothing to it.
Wow. Yeah.
So essentially, they are a super thin product that is chambered with air that has multiple patterns on it. And so the difference in what we do at AirFeet in our product is we are a dynamic motion or dynamic active product under your feet. So they move under your feet. As you move, it moves. We're not trying to shape. We're not trying to lift. We're not an orthotic. We let them do that. We focus on what we do, which is let's activate the muscles, create that natural stimulation. And that leads to multiple ailments that we are very, very good at helping to reduce that level of
Mm.
discomfort and pain. So if you're standing at work all day, you walk miles in a factory, perhaps you're athletic and you want to play sports better. So multiple areas and products. Our product is significantly technologically different than everything else. So the advantage of being super thin is you can move them in and out of shoes and footwear. You don't tear a shoe apart. But
Oh,
we're not trying to compete in that orthotic or shaped footbed type space. Ours just slip right in. And for many individuals, they are truly life changing.
very cool. That's awesome. So, Wayne, stepping into ownership requires a bit of a leap of faith. So, what's been the biggest surprise between what you expected ownership to be like and what it's actually been like?
Wow. I think as one of the first things I think you realize as a small business is you have an idea. It's a great idea. Everyone's going to want this. And I need a few funds to get going. So you go visit your bank and they say, no, we're not going to fund it. I say, unless you've got the money, we can't give you the money. Well, if I had the money, I wouldn't come to you for
Yeah.
money. So at the time, I went into $87,000 in credit card debt. And that is a leap of faith. I have a very, very strong work ethic. I will work as long and as hard as I need to accomplish a task that I have the ability to do. And so I think that was the biggest eye opener at the time was that. Then it was that how do I get this message out? And the challenge with doing that is that's really a test of how you are as an entrepreneur and how you are as a business owner. I don't think you can fully comprehend everything that's really necessary to get the steam engine moving down the track.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And unless you've been a very successful business individual, which at the time I hadn't run my own company, then maybe you come to the table with those great assets and you've got that piggy bank behind you. Well, I did not. So for myself, it was let's design something, let's manufacture something, let's develop a marketing campaign, a strategy. And that's what the biggest challenges are. And even when we first started, we started in festivals.
Mm.
county fairs. You
Yeah.
do anything to turn a dollar
Yeah.
and put money. You got to put bread on the table.
Yeah. Right.
It's amazing when we look back at that and think, oh, wow, we should have a museum of all the things of where we've come from and what we've done. And even the type of how we looked, our marketing, our
Sure.
packaging. I look at it and go,
Sure.
what, what were we smoking back then? That's a horrible idea. And unfortunately, that were all my ideas.
A couple things that you said I want to dig into a little bit is money. Yeah, it's a whole lot easier to get funds from the bank when you don't need it than when you do. So I advise all of my clients, make sure you have a line of credit. And they'll say, yeah, but I don't need the money right now. I say, exactly. The bank will say yes now, and you can just have it as a safety net for when and if you do need it. And then marketing and sales, right? The only way a business works is by figuring out how to create leads and how to convert those leads into customers. So I often joke about my own businesses. I thought I was buying a coaching company, but really I bought a marketing and sales company. And if I get really good at that, then I get to actually, have the benefit of coaching.
That's right. Yeah. Brilliant. Yep.
So yes, generating the leads and being able to convert those leads, super important, right? It doesn't matter how good our product is if we aren't able to communicate to people and get them interested in buying what we have. And the great benefit of your company is you have an awesome product as well. So the marketing, the sales, and the product all go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do. Don't worry, there's a lot of competition out there. And then there's the re educating of people who are not, maybe they're just swayed by other very, very strong products and marketing campaigns. They've got a lot more money than what I do. And that's the knowledge that they have. And that's what they've always known. So for us, we live in this 2D world. How do we communicate something that's moving and dynamic?
Right.
And that's different. That's different than from us. So very much for us, a lot of our success also comes from literally people when we do an expo or a trade show, they can try the product and
Yes.
experience and to listen to those wow. And I challenge people, I bet you cannot smile when you put out a product. It's not possible not to do even even just that pure wow, this is different. It will naturally make you smile. So it's very encouraging. But yeah, very challenging. All those things mixed together, sales, marketing, introduction, every single business out there. It's the same challenge. And of course, the smaller you are, we sometimes have a lot more hurdles.
Yeah, for sure. We've talked about sales a little bit before the show. You said that sales is the thing that's currently keeps pulling you into the day to day. So give us a little bit more context there, Wayne. What's currently happening with respect to sales and you having to wear that hat?
Yeah. So actually, we talked already about how it pulls us into a chasm that everything else stops. So on the positive side now, which I'm very, very encouraged. I think I go to bed most times and I'm excited about what the next morning is going to bring. So I realized that, we have to get out of doing those phone call, or email.
Mm,
That's the first step. Then the second step was but it's not just the first one that's the problem. We sort of do okay with that first piece of contact.
yeah.
How do we do at week 2, week 4, week 8,
Yes.
when we've already now been to X amount more events with
Right.
more and more leads that are just growing on us? So it's sort of like this exponential growth with contacts. So stumbled across, and I've been using AI, and everyone's familiar with AI. A lot of people are very concerned about it. I'm sure there are concerns, but for myself and how I see it fitting into a business, tremendous advantages. I find it as an educational tool for me. I can research suppliers. I can become more dangerously knowledgeable about something I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
a lot quicker. So I'm using it in that aspect, but also as a business owner, I want to learn how to communicate with a potential customer in a language that relates to them. So
Mm,
I will type an email and then I'll ask AI to check me. Here's the customer. Here's what I'm trying to do.
yeah.
Help me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like someone I can bounce an idea off that's not going to give me any emotion. They're going to come back and give me solid info. So that's really, really encouraging. But our true steps forward are maybe just stumbled across it, but have a young kid who is a lot smarter than what I am in that world. And we are actually creating, we're going to develop it, probably market it, a software program. It's not a CRM. I'm not looking for that type of strength. And there's hundreds of those out there. I just want one that is truly lead focused, that we will enter the data. Actually, we now have a document to gather all the data from the show that we're at, which is saves 90% of the time.
Yeah.
It will then immediately communicate and continue to communicate a variety of emails that are variations
Mm,
based on what we talked about. Update us in the morning and inform us that you need to reply. And then why haven't you replied?
yeah.
And giving us suggestions in the background of, here's what they asked you, here's what they work. This is based on the notes. This is what you should be communicating. Truly streamlining, not effortless. But I just talked to my business partner yesterday, and he wasn't even aware this was sort of the depth, and he was absolutely ecstatic. He said, "I this is going to eliminate so much digging just to
Yeah.
be able to get. I can think about it, see it, respond." And so very excited. Are we going to have it ready tomorrow? No, but we are making leaps and bounds. So fingers crossed,
Yeah. That's
within
awesome.
the next few months, I think we will have significantly solved that major problem and hurdle that we have with turning a, a lead into an actual customer.
Yeah.
And very, very exciting. So there's some of the things that a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of managing by myself, but that's okay. Positive management here. Super exciting.
Very cool. That's awesome. So, Wayne, what would you say, if your best guess, what does it cost the business today of the balls that are being dropped that this new process is going to solve for?
If I had have had this, I think as little as a year ago, I truly believe we would be 2 to 3 times where we are today.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, and I know that I'm. It's not like we're having to convince someone that we have a good product and you should
Yeah.
listen to us. It's because we didn't do our job. We failed at what these leads had expected us to do. They wanted to be contacted.
Yes.
They've got
Right.
busy lives. They've got 100 emails a day. They're trying to fit in their natural day's
Yeah.
work, and we're dropping the ball. So
Yes.
when you think about it, significant costs. And when I really think that deep, Tim, it's pretty disappointing and depressing, but 2 steps back, 3 steps forward.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. That's the that's the important thing to remember as a business owner is the path is not linear, right? It is truly right that up and down, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, right? Some days are wins, some days are learning opportunities. And what I like about what you've described today is your commitment to figuring it out, right? And working as much as it takes to navigate through the learning curve and get to the other side of being able to realize what those opportunities truly are. And you said something that I want to reinforce with the audience is that if the person has spent time talking to you at a trade show and they've given you your contact information, they want and expect a follow-up and a further conversation. And oftentimes, intentionally or unintentionally, we give up too early. And so having the automation and the help of AI is definitely a way to help remind ourselves that to keep at it and keep following up. One of the things I coach my team on is you know keep asking until they say yes or no, and even adjust some of the scripts of, hey, I'm assuming that you're busy and you appreciate that we're continuing to follow up. But if for some reason you're no longer interested, just let me know and I'll take you off the list, because a maybe is terrible, right? From a sales standpoint, a no is a whole lot better than a maybe because we can redirect our energy to other opportunities.
Yeah, it is. I tell you what, that's a good point. One of my decisions, I have this massive flow chart that I had created for this process to work. And the young gentleman, I said, our goal isn't to get a response from everyone. Our goal, a positive response. Our goal is to get a response. The no's are just as good as the yeses,
Absolutely.
because all that's going to do is eliminate those from the burden of having to communicate with. And really, and part of that, if they say no, there's a leg that branches out. we're just going to turn them into a day-to-day customer because they have a product that hopefully they're going to need. And so we have a strategy for those individuals too. But you're right. And I think as a small company, one of the daunting tasks is, I've stumbled on this particular individual who's very affordable and we're doing this, but there are companies out there would probably ask, well, how do we find someone with AI? That's a massive challenge for a business owner to do.
Yeah.
Who do I believe? And in
Yes.
the past, yeah, one of our struggles has been, here's a rep group. They want to rep us. Horrible. And here's a distributor. They're gonna take us under their wing. They're gonna, take us into all their customers. It doesn't really work. So you begin to lose faith in the system. And you
Yes.
think, is there no one out there who gets what we do and how positive it can be in someone's life? As many products out there in the same situation, we will make a difference. And you just lose faith. And then I think as a business, we step back in and we wrap our arms around it again.
Yes.
And we're
Yes.
going to hold on it, not let it go. And that's what we do. We just don't let it go until something comes along and whispers in your ear and you go, okay, I'm willing to
Yeah.
open those arms and
Yes.
release it again. So I think that's a battle as owners we all face. And you can fit any sort of conversation or problem into that, but we all do it. We grab it, hold it, slowly release it. So a lot of challenges out
What
there
I
for
often
opportunity blue.
see I often see with that process is by the time that we let go, we're so overwhelmed or tired or exhausted that we literally just let it go. We abdicate the responsibility instead of delegate. And that's internal or external, right? Like, oh my goodness, finally I have somebody to do this. Here you go.
Yeah.
And then we don't manage them to
Uh,
results, right? We don't
yeah.
train them. We don't hold them accountable. We don't teach them. We don't, right? We just let it go because we're so relieved to not have to do it anymore. And then we wonder why it didn't work, right?
Yeah. And we expect them to know what we know.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked for a few minutes, so
Yeah.
we've just brought on a rep group in one particular area, and very very excited. And I'm thinking, why aren't I getting any feedback? Why am I not hearing from you? I need feedback. Not thinking that they're also representing 12
Yes.
other companies and
Yes.
businesses, and
Right.
so imagine
Yes.
what they're dealing with. So my goal is they'll become a part of this whole process. But as an owner, we can quickly judge them and realize they're no good either.
Yep.
But in the background, we just don't understand. So what I need to realize is I need to hold their hand a little bit. They don't
Yep.
know us AirFeed as a company. And I need to know what do you need from us? What are you not getting? What are we not providing you with so we can better understand each other? We help you because the more we grow, you grow.
Yes.
And we do as business owners, something comes along and we're so relieved. We're happy to dump everything and we should only do a little bits at a time.
Yeah, I don't know. For those listening, I'm Coach Tim Campson. We work with business owners in the messy middle where the business outgrows how it's being run and keeps the owner stuck in the day to day. Wayne, what lesson do you wish that you had learned sooner to allow you to get out of the day to day? And what was the cost of not knowing that?
What lesson? Wow, that's a really good one. Probably having faith in more people, but not knowing probably who they were at the time, maybe not putting in the time and effort to really understand what they did and what they possibly could have done for us. And done by, I mean, could be guided,
Yeah.
could have been trying something a little differently. And then I think that comes from that little bit of awareness, you get burnt out. But I think that's really important, as well as really just in a previous life, I ran an aerospace company. I've done multiple things in my life, which have led to probably a little bit of the experience that I have today is working on, they say any person in a company or in management or executive management, in order to grow, you should try and replace yourself.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
we protect our position. We think no one else can do it. No one else knows it as good as me.
Yeah.
And so focusing on what that replacement could look like. Now, I'm not saying I step away and go sit on a beach,
Yeah.
but I'm saying teach people, put in processes that allow someone to do what I do when I'm not there so I can be doing something else. What do I think they cost? Obviously, there's a percentage or a size growth there. Definitely cost me more quality free time.
Yeah. Fair.
I can tell you that that's unmeasurable. So time you
Yeah.
cannot save. One thing you
Yeah.
cannot save is time. But I'm sure it had a significant impact on limiting our growth financially and just successfully.
One of the exercises I have folks do when they're wrestling with letting go of activities is, I'll ask them, "Hey, what's the size of your business?" And just for illustrative purposes, let's say it's $1 million business. Like, great. So you're worth $500 an hour to your company. So you divide 1 million by 2,000 hours a year. So you're worth $500 an hour to your company. So why are you working on those 25 and $50 an hour jobs? Right? If you were to hire some, now in the beginning we all have to, but at a certain point we do have the funds to be able to hire somebody. Why are you not replacing those jobs with a person so you can do more $500 an hour activities? And that often is the thing that breaks through. And folks like, oh my goodness, you're right. There are better things that I could be doing with my time. I can buy back my time.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And sometimes, as I said, can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's
Yeah. So
just,
Wayne, in your journey when you felt stuck or overwhelmed with things that you were working through, what changed when you brought in an outside perspective?
think that the way that it impacted me and how I felt when there's some of those achievements was just that improvement in self confidence.
Mm,
When you're running a business and sometimes the smallest things that go right give you this such a huge am capable of running my business. I do have a product that works.
yeah,
Just you begin to gain faith in why you began and why you started.
yeah,
And those little accomplishments can mean everything to you. So it's yeah, you no longer start to doubt, can we do this?
mm,
It's really good. But I think the biggest thing is, am I capable of doing it?
mm,
Many times over the years I've thought, maybe I'm just not right. Maybe I should just
right.
sell and get out. Maybe I don't have the ability. I'm sure there's many things I don't have the ability to do.
Sure.
But yeah, little things like that are fantastic.
Love it. Our show's called Self Made is a Myth because we know that no one gets there on their own. Wayne, who are the three people in your journey that have helped with the success? And so, who are those three people and how they help you along the way?
Easily the number one person is my wife. Holy cow. From the day that we were dating years ago, I remember sitting down on her couch, just back and forth each other's places, with a set of colored pencils and a notepad designing our logo.
Wow.
From now, that's the root of our business, is it goes that far back. That's how detailed I was in,
Wow.
I've got an idea, I've got a concept, to sketching on pieces of paper what I wanted the design to be, how it functioned and worked.
Yeah.
And the hours she would sit there and do, and just to be around me, it was
Yeah.
wonderful. But all those years ago through till today, she's a wife, she's a helper, and literally a right hand man. She will help do some of the most mundane things. We've been on Good Morning America. We've been on TV shows and tens of thousands of product that have to ship in 24 hours. She'll be there packaging and helping all times of the night. So let me tell you, when you've got someone like that who
Yeah.
is not a business owner, but a partner. So number one. Number two would be my business partner, my brother. He is easily the person I can depend on to do those ugly, mundane, detailed things inside the office that get no credit. There's no glory to that job,
Yeah.
but it's truly, it is the grease on the wheels, and they'll stop if you don't keep lubing them up. And endless amount of time. He'll donate time. Hey, we need to go visit a customer, 5 hours in a car, off he goes. And probably just the mix of friends that I have who I can vent to, take wisdom, whether I think it's good wisdom or not.
Yes.
And I think snippets from people over the numerous years as well as today are very important. They're the three categories: two incredible people and the group of friends that I have.
Wonderful. Wayne, what's your wife's name and what's your brother's name?
My wife's name is Angie and my brother's name is Neil.
Fantastic. So it sounds like you've been blessed with some incredible people in your journey. If they were all here today, what would you want to say to them?
And without a doubt, massive love, massive arms out, embraced, hug. Don't ever leave me. You're probably one of my best business partners.
Mm,
But she takes care of me. She's the get home from a long day, and she's going to be, and she's going to be there forever. For Neil, can't ever afford to lose you. Don't give up. Don't lose faith. We are going to get there, whatever that there is. We're going to get there. And it's been a pretty awesome ride together. Couldn't imagine having a better partner with me to do it.
Fantastic. Wayne, I appreciate your sharing today. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much. It's been great.
For those listening, if you're stuck in the messy middle, there's a way through it and you don't have to figure it out on your own. Our 2-week coaching trial helps you see exactly what's keeping the business held back and what needs to change. There's a link in the description to learn more about that. And if this conversation resonated, like it, comment on it, and subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. I'll see you all next time.